Hello, BookTube, and welcome back. Well, folks, I'm going to do another one of my book reviews. As always, get the usual preamble out the way. I'm not a book reviewer, I'm a simple lad. So these will be more my opinions. And I like to keep these videos under 10 minutes to give me a sense of structure so I don't go on and 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 on. So what have I been reading? So I've just finished a non-fiction book called Careless People. A cautionary tale of power, greed, and the loss of idealism by Sarah Wynn-Williams. This book was published last year, I think. It's a memoir, and it's about 400 pages. Oh, if you don't know, Sarah Wynn-Williams has been given a gag order. She cannot talk about this book, promote this book, or be seen with this book. So, yeah, she's been quieted, silenced. So what's this book about? This book kind of chronicles her time as the director of public affairs at Facebook. It's also a memoir about her, it's her earlier life as well. When she's grown up in New Zealand, she survived a shark attack. Typical New Zealander, Australian, going in the water, fighting those, sharks coming back out. And then, it talks about her joining the UN and then eventually getting onto Facebook. And she talks about rubbing shoulders with, heads of state, people like Obama, David Cameron, really high up officials, other tech leaders. He talks about going on private, jet vacations. I say that right? I think I did. She talks a lot about ethics and the idealism that she had in Facebook was doing some good in the world, trying to get everyone in the world connected. She also talks about the pressures of becoming a mother throughout the book, and then the added pressure of being pressured to come back to work from the people who are all about work and no social life. And she talks a lot about working with Mark Zuckerberg and the other two people in Facebook as well, Elliot and what's that person's name? Sarah, I think, who a large portion of the book she's just promoting her own book rather than talking about her job. She goes a lot to talk about personal ethics that were broken at Facebook. So the first part is all like idealism of, promoting Facebook as a brand and getting everybody connected. And then as the years go by, she starts to realize oh, hang on, everything's not rosy here. There's some really bad stuff, until it got to the point where I'm going to have to leave this job. This is seriously bad. So she talks about, the higher up in Facebook, not really, publicly they put on a good face, but privately they more care about the money rather than doing a good thing. She talks about them kind of bending the knee and doing China's Wynn, giving them all the personal data and all that, about the bad things that were happening in Myanmar, of the junta and the military oppression that was there, and how, in Myanmar, Facebook was used as the internet. And there was a lot of hate groups were promoted on Facebook in Myanmar and was not touched. She also talks about a lot of, again, that personal pressure that she received about, come back to work. You must come back to work now. And then kind of getting sidelined when she was started to ask about stuff, and she started to report about, sexual assault that went unheeded and wasn't taken seriously. And so it goes from idealism all the way to, I want to get the hell out of here. So it's very chronological, the book. It starts off with her childhood, her first job in the UN, and then her 7-year stint in Facebook, I think it was. And then all the things what happened, Facebook getting really heavily involved in politics, especially right-wing politics, pushing out lies. Remember, Facebook doesn't really, these big social media companies don't care about the truth of the matter. All they care about is engagement. So you push a load of stuff, it's more money for Facebook or any other social media. So she's quite humorous throughout this book as well, but it's that kind of laden with the darkness as well. And so it's a very critical exam of Facebook's decision making, its harmful practices, its workplace misbehaviours, the misogyny in there. She really does combine like a sharp critique of the people that she worked with, and she does it in a very like gripping, personable way of writing that you can cling to. I finished this book quite quickly. I'm a big fan. Spoiler alert. So basically, this memoir is about the loss of idealism, and maybe a hope for the future as well towards the end. So I think last year this book became a New York Times bestseller. She went in front of the US Congress, I think, to report on what happened at her time in Facebook. So basically, in conclusion, this book is fantastic. It emphasizes, how little at the end doing the right thing just wasn't the best option for them. It's all about promoting money. What's the best interest in the company rather than doing the right thing, and how real change might be a slow, gradual process, and you might not get the ideal outcome at the end. This book is fantastically well structured, well written memoir, and it's definitely up there on some of the non-fiction books that I read this year. If you don't know anything about it, pick up this book. It is really good, and that's Careless People, A Cautionary Tale of Power, Greed, and a Loss of Idealism by Sarah Wynn-Williams by BookTube.